All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
And as I said, welcome before. But today we are going to look at false accusations. False accusation. Now, this I'm gonna tell you that this is another one of the easiest sins to do, and I have found it a struggle along the way. These sins here, I'll tell you all of them. I won't tell anybody out there that I'm this knight in shining armor. These sins have been with me and have been a struggle to understand them because I live these sins so I can understand them. So when you hear me speak, it's based on my experience. And with false accusation, I think I've told the story before of this brother that I had. And this brother was more or less sinful. And when he did certain things, nothing could not tell me that it was not um, sinful. He was not coming from a wrong place. And then each time I would believe that, yes, he is wrong. And I have it in my mind that look at that. And then it would turn out to be not so. It would be something else that the brother was doing good. And it appeared to be bad. And it hit me once, and then it hit me twice, and it kept happening. And this is how the Most High taught me this false accusation thing. It kept happening until one time I had to pray and said, no, Father, this man is more righteous than I. I thought he was unrighteous, but I am the one that is unrighteous. Because in my mind, and I wasn't speaking to anyone, in my mind, I was accusing him wrongfully. And over the years, I have seen it in people who assemble together, who integrate as believers, falsely accusing the brethren. It appears to be so. Every single thing looks like it is so. And then we believe that we are summarizing it and said that plus that plus that plus that. No, it must be equal to that. And I can tell you that a lot of the times it is not usually so. False accusation is a very serious sin because it encompasses, let me show you some of the sins that it encompasses. It encompasses or it touches or it fosters or it strengthens sins like grudges. The mere foundation of it is lies because it is actually a lie. Because if I accuse you of doing something and you don't do it, that is a lie. Bearing false witness. False witness. It is the same as false witness. Slandering is related to it. Gossiping is related to it. Because if I utter it to another, it becomes gossip. Hatred is related to it. Wrongfully hating someone. Pride is related to it. Witchcraft, mockery, even soul ties can be related to it in terms of you having soul ties to someone and you might think that that person might be offending that person and you bear false witness against that person. And bearing false witness, of course, does not have to be out loud. I can bear it in my mind, as I told you my example with the brother. It can also touch idolatry, can touch hypocrisy, vengefulness, favoritism, form of holiness, all of those it touches. Now, let me begin with Sirach 26, verse 5. Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 5. Nika, you're nearer to this recording thing. Can you read, please? Hold on, please. Let us find it. Yeah, so this false accusation thing, I'm telling you, is it's very tricky. And it seems as if, and this has happened to me several times, it seems that as if the Most High is trying to tell you, do not accuse falsely. Because I don't know about you, several times I've been in situations where I could swear that that person is wrong in what I think. And when it turns out it is not so. So that one of the occasions is that that person might have done something here before, and then you see something looks like he has done it again, and you say, he has done it again. False accusation, because that is not so. So many times this has happened, and it is a very, very strong, powerful sin, because it brings us into lie. Sirach 26 verse 5.
There be three things that mine heart feareth, and for the fourth I was sore afraid: the slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death.
You see that? Worse than death. A false accusation. And why is it worse than death? Let me just take a worldly article to see why it says it's worse than death. From Wikipedia, it says a false accusation is a claim or allegation of wrongdoing that is untrue or unsubstantiated. So it might be true. No, it might not. It's not true. We think it is true. Sorry, we think it is true, and we don't have enough facts to back it up. And we might say things like, "How do you know that she did it?" And I might say, "Well, I know. I know. You know, I know. I know what I know," or something like that. Unsubstantiated. False accusations are also known as groundless accusations, unfounded accusations, false allegations, false claims, or unsubstantiated allegations. They can occur in everyday life, in quasi-judicial proceedings, and in judicial proceedings. So quasi-judicial proceedings would be like a group of people coming together and making an allegation against someone. And some like a meeting, we have a little meeting, and we are telling the person, no, you were wrong for doing this, and you did this. You are the one who did this. And of course, judicial proceedings are when you have a real court. Yeah. Making a false accusation is a crime in many jurisdictions. That goes that. In the UK, if a person acts in a way that intends or perverts the course of justice, for example, by making false allegations to the Metropolitan Police, they are guilty of a criminal offense. This includes making crime reports that contain false allegations. So, for example, for us, it would be us as believers making reports against another believers based on false allegations that causes someone to be arrested or even fall under suspicion. So that goes into slandering. Because I go and I say something about you and it is not so. And then your name is slandered, because the person who hears it now is going to take it and run with it and have a negative view of you. And in the assemblies, that leads to what? Division. Division. Sometimes the people who are actually guilty of an offense may do this to divert our attention away from their own crimes. I hope that this is not named among us. When we are wrong and we try to put it on someone to divert from ourselves. Now, in the Bible, false witness refers to giving untrue testimony about someone. Untrue testimony about someone, often with the intent to harm their reputation or legal standing. Sometimes it's even not with the intent. As I told you about myself, it was with the I don't know if it's deception. You can say deception. It's the wrong conclusion, coming to a wrong conclusion based on my own wisdom, based on my own perception. Okay? I can actually harm someone's reputation if I go and I repeat it to someone. It is specifically addressed in the ninth commandment, which states, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor," emphasizing the importance of truthfulness and integrity in both legal and personal context. So, as we say, when we have false witness in an assembly, that can lead to division. Division. Go to Proverbs 25:18.
A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow.
A maul and a sword and a sharp arrow. Those are weapons of destruction, and the maul there comes from the Hebrew word mephitz, which means scatterer, disperser, scattering club, a mallet. So a breaker. So it is a club that you use to beat. And when you beat it, it crushes and scatters. So when we bear false witness, we are actually dividers. We are scatterers. So we scatter or divide an assembly where we are. Or we divide people wherever they are. Because when we bear false witness, depending on how other people take it, then it's going to cause division because they're going to cause a false perception of someone. That false perception can bring hatred and all of those things upon people. It says, "Man that beareth false witness against his neighbor." Now, neighbor, is it Mark 12:28? Mark 12:28 shows us the importance of this neighbor. Mark 12:28. Is it 28? Yes.
And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, "Which is the first commandment of all?" And Yahusha answered him, "The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our Eluah is one Eluah. And thou shalt love Yahuwah thy Eluah with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is like, namely this, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these."
So when we bear false witness against our neighbor, there is none greater commandment than this, to love our neighbor as ourselves. So in bearing false witness, we break the second greatest commandment, which is to love our neighbor as ourselves. So in whenever we are making decisions and thinking to witness against someone without it being heard, to have this perception that this person is this and this person is that, we have to think about the second commandment, loving our neighbor as ourselves, to start thinking that our neighbor has to we know to think that we ourselves would not love anyone to actually have that perception of us without first coming to us or something like that. Yeah, without first coming to us and hearing the matter. We would not want someone to believe and conclude that we have done this when we have not actually done it. So we have to ensure that we are not a maul, a disperser, and a sword. A sword actually cuts, and a sharp arrow, a sharp arrow shoots to the point, and all of these things hurt people. Now, in the Torah, the punishment for false accusation is actually to do whatever the accusation is, that we receive the same thing that we accuse the person of. So when we are wrong, the Most High looks on it as the same thing that we thought of the person is the same thing that we will get. And who knows, the afflictions that we get are often related to this. Deuteronomy 19, verses 16 to 21.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahuwah, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
That's how dangerous false witness is. Most I say your eye must not pity. So we have to strive in all things, and we are doing it in a spiritual way. We might not be calling for a brother to be killed for doing this or doing that, but spiritually we bear the impact of it. And we know that the Most High hates false witnesses. Proverbs 6:16. The Most High hates false witnesses. 16 to Proverbs 6:16.
These 6 things doth Yahuwah hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren
A false witness that does what?
speaketh lies.
So go down to Proverbs 12:22 now. A false witness that speaketh lies.
Lying lips are abomination to Yahuwah, but they that deal truly are his delight.
This false witness that speaks lies, and it's an abomination to Yahuwah. And he hates a false witness that speaks lies. That summarizes how important it is not to bear false witness on one another. Okay? Because all liars will be in the lake of fire. Let's go to Revelation 21:8. All liars shall be in the lake of fire. Start from 7.
He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his Eluah, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters,
And
and all
liars.
liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
And all liars. And it says the abominable. And lying mixed is an abomination. So lying is there twice. Because it is an abomination, which makes liars abominable. And then it says all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire. Very serious. Go to Revelation 22:15. Just glance across the page. It should be somewhere there. 22:14-15.
Barak are they that do his commandments, and they that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Now, 22:15 there splits it up. Because it splits it up into loving and making a lie. We make a lie when we do false witness, when we witness falsely. And then we go and we might speak it. That is making a lie, creating a lie, if the person is not guilty. Now the question is, if the person is guilty, do I want to take the chance and say, like behind the person's back, that they are guilty? And I'm almost 100% sure that that person did it. It's not worth it. My experience tells me that it's not worth it. I tell you, sometimes I'm cocksure. Nobody can tell me nothing, that it's not so. And I'm found to be wrong. So ashamed and embarrassed within myself. So it is easy to make a lie. It says anyone who makes a lie cannot enter into the kingdom. So we have to be very, very careful about bearing false witness. Now, to avoid false witness, go back to Deuteronomy 19:15. To avoid false witness among the nation, the Most High gave us this 19:15.
One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, shall the matter be established.
So this is how you do it. At the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses shall the matter be established. So like we are in an assembly like this now. we should not convict someone if we think someone is doing something. We have a meeting and we ask and we discuss it. That person should be truthful enough to open, to know that we are in a, for example, a council, and Yahuwah is the one who is actually presiding. So that person should know that they should not tell a lie. So we should not even be accusing, we should be inquiring into the matter. And one person cannot just say, no, that this is not so. We have to use witnesses. And Shaul went on to speak even in 1 Timothy 5 about elders. 1 Timothy 5:19. About the same thing with elders, but I would dare say the same thing goes for every single person. 1 Timothy 5:19. The same thing goes for every person in an assembly.
Against an elder, receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
It didn't say false accusation, it says not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. If we use this as a general rule for the entire assembly, then we will be good. We won't accuse people. We actually ask people. It's a big difference. So if I think that you had done something wrong, I don't accuse you, I ask you. I said, did you do such and such and such and such? That's different from an accusation which says, why did you do such and such? So we do not receive accusations against each other. We ask. And it says, if there is an accusation, if somebody has done something so terrible and so wrong, that we have to have 2 or 3 witnesses there instead of one person making the accusation. False accusation now is a manifestation of us being in imperfection. Because think about it. When you have the works of the flesh and you have this the fruit of the Ruach. When you're walking in the fruit of the Ruach, you are going to have all of the tools that are necessary for you to be able to tolerate something that someone has done wrong, especially here in an assembly. You're walking in the fruit of the Ruach. Go to Galatians 5:22. When you're walking in the fruit of the Ruach, the believer will be so sinful and it will not be offensive to me because I am ready to forgive, to have mercy, to show all sorts of good fruit to that person. Galatians 5:22. Galatians is after 2 Corinthians.
But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
You go to 24.
And they that our Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts.
The affections and lusts. Continue.
If we live in the Ruach, let us also walk in the Ruach. Let us not be desirous of vain splendor, provoking one another, envying one another.
All right. When you're walking in the fruit of the Ruach, you're going to be walking in love. And if you're walking in love, we're just going to emphasize love now. Use love. Because all of us, we tend to want to say that we love. But love is an action word. And if we go to 1 Corinthians 13, when we look at what love is not, go to verse 4. Just hold on to Galatians 5, but we're just going to go to verse 4. Start at verse 4 of 1 Corinthians 13. We're going to see how we can ensure that we are not false accusers.
Charity suffereth long.
Love. Call it love.
Love suffereth long and is kind. Love envieth not. Love vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things.
All right. Two most significant ones there. Beareth all things, endureth all things. So just from the fruit of the Ruach, just love alone, we will not be bearing false accusation, because we will bear all things. We will endure all things, endure all persecutions. If persecutions even come from the mouth of that person, love alone will make us tolerate that person, because our outlook would be caring for that person, because we know the sinful nature and we understand the sinful nature. We understand that it is not that person that is doing it, but sin that dwells in that person. So love would be concerned for the person, to try to help the person to see how we can take that person from where they are to where that person should be. It should not annoy me or affect me in such a negative way, because when it does that way, now I'm going into what? Self. I'm thinking about myself. So you have done me something. I am thinking about the hurt that you are causing me, or what I perceive that you are causing me, which might make me now go out and sin a great sin, instead of caring about you, thinking that, man, if he does this, that he is not where he should be. How can I get him to where he should be? So that love will let no animosity come against you, but love and caring for you, to try to reach you, to get you out of where you are. That way, I will not go and accuse you. I will just have it in my mind, how can I help you? You get what I'm saying? So that is just love alone. And then it says, fruit of the Ruach is love, joy. When you have joy, peace, and happiness in your soul, it is hard for anyone, for you to even accuse someone. When you're joyful, you're bubbly inside, and you have shalom or peace, it is hard for you to accuse someone, because that person cannot disturb your peace so easily. You have joy, you have peace. What else do you want? And then the next one says long suffering. This is another powerful one. Long suffering. That means I perceive that you have done me something. If I'm long suffering, that means I'm willing to endure whatever you have to throw at me, whatever I believe you have done, I am willing to endure it for a long, long time. And then that gentleness now would let me so care so much for you. I do not want to harm you. I do not want to cause a bad name. I don't want anyone to have this negative concept about you. And so it will not affect me to cause a false allegation. All of these things here, the answer or the remedy is to actually go to you and ask you, is such and such, such and such? That is the remedy for it, this all, instead of accusing you. No, the other one is goodness. The word tells us about Yahuwah's goodness. And he says, know you not in Romans 2 that Yahuwah's goodness leadeth you to repentance. So the goodness now would be for me to try to get that person to, if they have done it, to apologize or whatever, instead of accusing that person. The other big one is emunah. When we have emunah, we are not easily perturbed. We are not easily angered. We are strong in whatever someone has against us. Meekness, one of the things or one of the reasons why we make false accusations or we are quick to make false accusations is pride. If we think that person is trying to undermine us, if we think that person belittles us or thinks lowly of us, all of those things, that pride makes us more aggressive to accuse that person when that person does something wrong. Even more so, like for example, we are gathered together and that person might be doing something I believe is making me look small in front of the other believers. I'll be quick to accuse that person because I'm feeling that person is making me feel embarrassed. Understand? So we have to bear that in mind, that meekness, humility is important. Here's another big one. Temperance. Temperance, which is what? Self-control. Self-control. Now, somebody is doing me something that I believe is not right. Self-control is when I'm able to control myself to not be angered by what anyone does to me, to be willing to suffer for righteousness' sake. That is what will get me from a false accusation or bearing false witness against someone. But when now we are in sin, the opposite, that's when easy to bear false witness. So false witness, us bearing false witness or false accusation is an indication that we are not where we're supposed to be. We are in the works of the flesh. Go to the works of the flesh. Galatians 5, start at 19.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Eluah.
All right. So things like witchcraft on a small scale, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, all of those things, envyings, those things pride. Is there anger? Anger is another one of them. He says, as is such delight. So anger, things like anger, etc. All of these things, if you're walking in these sins, in these sinfulness, then it's going to be very, very easy for us to bear false witness. So we have to strive to walk in the ruach, or else we will be sinning a very, very great sin. So false accusation, very, very easy for us to do here, or wherever we are gathered together as believers, or wherever people are, because things may not be how they appear. And as I told you, the Most High will make it be that way for us to see that we must not bear false witness. I have seen many times that happen to me, and I've seen it happen to other people. And the thing about false witness, we can be so sure that it is so. It is sometimes easy to convince us otherwise. We have to look to the fruit of the Ruach. We have to look to love and know that when we speak something negative about a believer, another believer, it can destroy their life totally. It can destroy the perception of other people. It can make it, it can cause divisions with them and other people, because we might be interacting with people and we keep remembering what we thought that that person has done. Understand? So for us as believers, if we have any doubts with other people, we ask and we reason instead of keeping it in our hearts and our minds, because it's going to cause us to sin, it's going to cause divisions, it's going to cause lack of unity, lack of discord, which is one of the things that he says Yahuwah hates, discord among brethren. That's another thing that false accusation actually causes. Okay? So, I guess that's what I have to say on it. I don't think that's a long one, but anyone with anything to say, anything that I missed, that I had, please do go ahead and speak.
I think that it is apparent that false accusations, all these sins in the sin series, the reason why the Bible talks about leaven, these sins that we've been going over spread so fast to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is immediate that it happens. False accusations can lead to slander, can lead to gossip very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Gossip can lead to other things. Envy can lead to other things. All of these sins just spread like cancer and lead to many, many other sins, which is why you have to be vigilant and nip them all in the bud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All of them are interrelated. And another thing, Matthew 7:24, Hamashiach told us this, a very important advice when it comes to this. Yeah. No, is it 24?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Not Matthew 7:24. John 7:24. What? John 7:24. No, that 7:24 was there. Yeah.
John 7:24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
I think that is the moral of this teaching here. The whole bottom line. Judge not according to the appearance. Because I've said several times about my experience when everything appears to be so. And you judge it and you end up being wrong. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. And the righteous judgment in our case is not to accuse, it is to ask. Because in the book of Revelation, who is called the accuser of the brethren? Satan, isn't it? So we should in no way be speaking about accusing our brethren. Revelation 12:10.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our Elohim, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
Satan is the accuser of the brethren. So when we are, that is why the works of the flesh is related to bearing false witness. Because the works of the flesh is where Satan dwells and causes us to sin. So we cannot be accusers of the brethren and should never ever accuse the brethren. Understand, we should always approach it as if we are trying to correct the brethren at all times. Yeah. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Shalom. Yeah, shalom. And just another little thing that I left out. And that is giving our brothers and sisters the benefit of the doubt. That when there is a problem or there is a suspicion, instead of jumping to accuse, we say, well, let me give him or her the benefit of the doubt. That way, we will avoid false accusation and we will actually be building ourselves to have tolerance, self-control, patience, everything necessary in order not to sin. So giving people the benefit of the doubt instead of jumping and say, hey, he or she does this, and start to frame some form of response inside of us, we just give people the benefit of the doubt. And that is right and proper because that is in keeping with a Mashiach. A Mashiach, when he was reviled, he reviled not again. So that person didn't even revile us. They might have done something that we think is wrong. And we are willing to form something up against them. No, we have to be willing to even be reviled by people. And we do not go and even answer and revile not again. When Yahusha was accused, it says he said not a word. We have to also be willing to reach to a point when things happen to us and we do not say a word and we do not hold it against people. Because when Hamashiach was being afflicted, he said, forgive them, they know not what they do. He is our example. We have to learn to suffer for righteousness' sake. We have to learn to suffer. All right? And that will prevent us from sin. All right? Because we might be thinking that Yahuwah is on our side. The word tells us that it is the will of Allah that we suffer. All right? That is his will because he knows that that will bring us to perfection. So we have to be willing to suffer. So we give them the benefit of the doubt and we struggle through. All right? All praises.